Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you all for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow. You don't want to miss out on a moment of the coverage. We're going to have some fun stuff to talk about moving forward. Let's dive into the quarterback situation. Kaden Salter. I think I expected a stronger showing from him. I think it was a little bit of jitters, a little bit of play calling, and a little bit of just not hitting on the right throws, right? 17 to 28 for a touchdown, 159 yards. Also rushed for 43 yards and a touchdown, right? I think he could have played better. This is his pass breakdown. Passes 20 yards or more, he was 1 of 5. Passes 10 yards, 10 to 19 yards, he was 1 of 4. And then passes 0 to 9 yards, 8 to 10. And then passes behind the line of scrimmage, 7 to 7, right? I don't think they did a good enough job stretching the field. I don't think he did a good enough job with his accuracy. And I think it's one of those things where we're quick to jump to conclusions, right? It's a situation where I think people are very quick these days to pull the trigger on a quarterback, right? And Skip Bayless, of all people, tweeted, Kaden Salter is a shifty scrambler, but just not accurate. Excuse me. Kaden Salter is a shifty scrambler, but just not accurate enough as a passer. Feels like Deion is going to have to give five-star Julian Lewis a shot sooner than later. And I pose the question, is it too soon to move on? And I think with Salter, and Coach Prime said it after the game, first of all, it is way too soon to move on, right? I want to preface this. Kaden Salter is a veteran. Colorado saw a lot in him to bring him in over Julian Lewis, right? They could have easily just gone the route of like, hey, we got this 5-star. We're going to just hand him the keys and he's going to live up to potential right away. They could have done that, but they chose not to. And Kaden Salter is that guy who was the 2023 Conference USA MVP. He's that guy threw for 32 tuds, 6 picks, and then ran for another 12 tuds, right? Kaden Salter was playing hesitant, right? It felt like he was forcing the throw. Like in baseball, they always say when you're pitching, it's like you're not aiming, but it's like you're trying to guide the ball to the catcher's mitt. And when a pitcher does that, it's like you're just overthinking like what you're doing. I felt like Kaden Salter was overthinking a lot of throws, right? There's the swing or the wheel route to, I forgot which running back it was, he puts it on his chest. That's a touchdown. Overthrows to Kalen Taylor a couple times. Overthrows Draymond Miller down the field, like just missed throws, right? It felt like he was trying way too hard. I think his best throw was the one to Amarion Miller on the sideline over there. I think it was like a 39. It was only Amarion Miller's only catch, 39-yard gain. Great throw, right? Kaden Salter just he didn't play to his potential, and he was hesitant to run. I think he was putting too much of an emphasis on trying to throw the ball, which is weird because usually you want your quarterback to like not just run when things get hard. And I'm not telling Salter to just be like, okay, first read's not there, I'm going to take off. But there was moments where it's like he's forcing a throw, and if he just runs, he's getting 15 yards. Instead, it's an incomplete pass or it's a pass deflection, whatever. Like, excuse me. Like there was just moments where it's like take off and run, right? Make the defense fear you. And I don't think the defense has feared him. Now, again, the same thing with Pat Shurmur. If we're in week 5 or 6 and it's just obvious that Kaden Salter doesn't have it, like he's consistently inaccurate, the offense isn't moving the ball as much as it should be, then I think you throw Julian Lewis in. I don't think you need to put Julian Lewis in until it kind of is not too late, but until you have a clear answer on Kaden Salter, you don't bench him for Julian Lewis, right? One game is hard to hold everyone to, hold everyone to a standard. It's like, okay, if you gave me one chance, if you gave anyone you've met in your life, like say your significant other, was your first impression that good where it's like, yeah, I'm going to marry them, right? I don't think everyone's was. I don't think my first impression with my fiance, Kristen, was that impressive, right? I think she thought of me as more of a goober than like anything else, right? So it's one of those things where it's like one game is not enough to determine if we need to make a change of quarterback. That being said, if the ensuing weeks, like if he doesn't find it against Delaware, it's like he may not find it, right? You have to give him an appropriate amount of time. You have to give him the right play calling, and he just needs to find his confidence and find his rhythm. And I don't think he really did that, right? I think Colorado had, I'll pull it up right now. In the first quarter alone, they had 3 drives that were in 3 plays and out, right? They went 3 plays and out, 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 8 plays field goal. Like that drive was better with 2:54 left in the first half. Third quarter, they get the ball. 4 plays punt, 8 plays field goal. That was decent. Then they score a touchdown on 15 plays, 5 plays punt. Like there's just so many drives where it's like, okay, we're just boom, 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 we're out. It's not even like, okay, we made it 10 plays down the field, then we punt or whatever. Like he's got to find his rhythm. I don't think it's time to pull the plug on the Kaden Salter experience yet. That being said, we do need to see an elevated Kaden Salter. We need to see the guy that we saw at Liberty a couple years ago, not the guy that we saw last year. And I think it's play calling, it's confidence, and it's just simply being a little bit more accurate at times. So appreciate you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and I will see you guys tomorrow.